Welcome back to Tales and Treasures. I'm your host, Mr. Almeida. This time I would like to talk to you about something that is a little bit obscure, especially given the popularity of the franchise itself. What I'm talking about is Fallout 76 Strategy Guide Platinum Edition. Opening this, it's a little bit like vault door opening. It's kinda cool, I like it. And here's some magnets that keep the door closed. Before we take a look at the strategy guide, let's check what else is in here. First up, there's this cool numbered printout of Charleston. The style of the painting is pretty cool. I kinda like it, but probably not enough to actually frame this and put down my wall. And then there's this Vault-Tec inspired folder, or whatever you want to call it. First up in here, there's a map. Yeah, this map is actually pretty huge. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's a little bit unpractical. I mean, maybe Bear Grylls could use it as a tent on his nature trails. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that the Vault Dweller would ever use a map this size, because the perception would drop 20 points immediately. Surprise! Time to die! No! Inside we have these little postcards that you can see. We have Cranberry Bog, Savage Divide, Ash Heap, The Forest, The Mire, and the Toxic Valley. And if we look on the back sides, they are actually postcards that you can send if you wish. But what collector in their right mind would actually send these away? Then here are these little notebooks, and they have all different covers. And if you take a look inside, the notebooks are all different. And then there are these fun little beer holders, or whatever they are called. They are all brands from the Fallout games. Oak Holler, Lager, Pickaxe Pilsner. New River Red. There's Old Possum, Blackwater Brew, So, the strategy guide. It's pretty interesting because usually when games are released they don't really change too much. So therefore the strategy guides should remain pretty accurate. But this one has very quickly become somewhat obsolete. And that's because the game has changed so much after the release. In Fallout 76, the DLC isn't something that's outside of the regular map, but something that really overhauls the entire game. Even though most of the locations remain the same, some are added, and sometimes the meaning of the place and who's there has been changed. Even though this is a beautiful strategy guide, it has very quickly become very outdated to the point of being obsolete. Also, here's an interesting question. Who writes these strategy guides? Is there like a secret sweatshop somewhere full of kidnapped players making them? There's a terrifying thought. On whole, I think it's a pretty interesting, obscure collector's edition. I mean, I don't think Bethesda advertised this like at all. I myself kind of just stumbled upon it accidentally looking for Fallout stuff. Its overall quality is pretty good and it actually has a lot of stuff to it. But unfortunately none of it is actually interesting enough for me to display them individually in my game room. The pictures are ultimately quite bland, and as a collector I would never write on the notebooks. I think I paid like 70-ish for this, and I do think it's a bit high. But I'm not one to dwell on the horrible mistakes of my past. But I do like having this oddity and displaying it in my collection. And if you are a huge Fallout fan, you'll probably want one too. And even though the strategy guide has very little practical value, because, like I said, it's a bit obsolete, but it doesn't matter to me, because it's so pretty.